as colder temperatures continue this week, so does the demand for warming shelters across the region. We went to Genesis Church in Fayetteville to see how workers there were operating. They've been open since Friday and will be open for at least the rest of the week. The shelter provides cots, dinner, showers, clothes, and even a place for animals.
We don't have structured hours that they have to be here. The doors open on through the night. We have crates here where they can bring their dogs to stay with them as well. So it's just something that we do as part of, being a big part of the community here in Fayetteville.
Well, the hospitality coordinator told us that they have seen a full house every night with about 80 people using their services. Well, again, many warming shelters will be open throughout the rest of the week. Salvation Army locations will be open in Fort Smith and Northwest Arkansas. You can find a list of shelters by texting the word warm to 479-785-5000, that number right there on your screen, and we'll send you back a link. Well, now we're going to turn to road conditions in our area, and today we are seeing a big difference in between road conditions on interstates. Some interstates in Northwest Arkansas are clear to mostly clear, and some interstates in the River Valley are still covered in ice. Now, we are taking a live look right now at the 5 News Storm Chaser in rural Washington County. Take a look right there at your screen. This is County Road 2156, also known as Dogwood Drive. You can see areas like that still completely covered. There's definitely a lot of slick spots still out there. So don't be fooled when you see that the interstates are mostly clear. When you get to roads like this, a lot of them still look untouched. Now, of course, updated on the latest road conditions. Here's another look. This is in Fort Smith. We are seeing a lot of areas still in Fort Smith and Oklahoma still covered completely, where it's kind of a different story in a lot of places around Fayetteville and Springdale. And so just be careful when you're out on the roads this morning. Stay in if you can. We spoke with RDOT earlier this morning, and they say that the main roads mostly clear, but those secondary roads, that's what their big focus is right now, as they're trying to get everything cleared as quickly as possible, especially while those temperatures are warming up a little bit today.
We were able to knock out a lot of work yesterday, get down into the secondary roads. Today's recipe calls for salt and sunshine, considerably better today. Some are even hitting some of those third-level roads, the tertiary roads, as we call them. So we're making progress. The sunshine today will be a huge ally to us.
The winter storm has moved out, but quite a few roads, like we showed you, still icy or slushy. This is the case in Benton County as well. Melody Kwok, the communications director for Benton County, says with over 1,300 miles of roads, crews have been working around the clock laying salt and plowing snow. They're doing this to get roadways back to normal conditions. County services also closed today as icy conditions have even made it difficult for employees to get to work safely.
But you do still need to be cautious of like the areas along the sides of the road where there are still going to be slick spots from the melting and refreezing process, especially on the curves, bridges, and overpasses.
Kwok recommends staying home if possible to let road crews finish clearing out the ice. If you must travel, make sure that you have an emergency kit in your car. And a reminder, the city of Fayetteville launched a new map that tracks where snowplow units have worked in real time. This is what it looks like. It also tracks where and when crews have laid down salt and brine. You can find it on the city's official website. The link is right there at the bottom of your screen. Well, we've learned so far 2 people in Arkansas have died from incidents during the weekend winter storm. Both incidents involved driving an ATV in the snow. A 17-year-old was on a tube being pulled by an ATV when he hit a tree just north of Benton in Saline County. A 40-year-old man also died in an ATV crash near Hope. 8 others statewide have also been injured in an ATV crash. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is asking Arkansans to think twice before climbing onto those off-road vehicles as kids remain out of school for another snow day today.
We've had a couple of accidents related mostly to individuals on side-by-sides and off-road vehicles. And so we encourage people to, while they're enjoying the fun in the snow, please be careful and don't take any unnecessary risks.
Governor Sanders has ordered the Arkansas National Guard to shift their weather response in certain areas around the state. They will now work to support the Arkansas Department of Health in over a dozen counties, including Saline and Faulkner in central Arkansas, Stone and Izard counties further north. Teams will support emergency medical services, help transfer patients to ambulances, and more. Well, now to an update on that 18-wheeler that jackknifed Monday morning in Van Buren. Arkansas State Police say a trooper was nearly hit by a semi involved in the accident after he was stopped off of I-40 working a separate crash. The trooper was not in his car when the semi crashed, but take a look at the damage. Thankfully, because he was not inside the car, no one was hurt. But Arkansas State Police say that the vehicle was totaled. Meanwhile, a Union Pacific train partially derailed in Van Buren on Monday morning. The video screen right here shows 8 cars involved. Officials say no one was hurt and nothing spilled from the cars. The cause has not been released, and it's unclear whether winter weather played a role. Well, early voting officially begins today for the runoff in the race for the District 26 Senate seat. Voters will decide between 2 Republican candidates, Wade Dunn and Brad Simon. With this winter weather and road conditions, we have an update on where to go if you're getting out to vote. In Sebastian County, early voting will be in Greenwood at EMS and Rescue off of South Coker Street. Franklin County will have voting centers open at the Charleston Courthouse and the Ozark Training Room. And the Johnson County Deputy Judge says the county's clerk's office will be open, but with minimal staff. In Logan County, the Office of Emergency Management in the Gerald Hampton Meeting Place will be open. The official runoff election day is next Tuesday. Well, the Trump administration appears to be changing its tone and strategy following the shooting death of Minneapolis resident Alex Pretty by a local patrol agent. Natalie Brandt has the latest.
In the face of intense public backlash and bipartisan criticism, President Trump's border czar Tom Homan is hitting the ground in Minnesota to take over immigration enforcement operations.
Mr. Homan is the point person for cooperating with state and local authorities and corresponding with them.
The change in strategy comes as Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara told CBS News people have had enough.
They know this is damaging to the reputations of their agencies. They know this is damaging to the culture in these agencies, and this is creating problems that will take years and years to fix.
CBS News has also learned some of the 800 Customs and Border Protection agents that were part of the larger federal force sent to the Minneapolis area are leaving, along with outspoken Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who said this following Saturday's deadly shooting of Alex Pretty.
This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Other administration officials labeled Pretty as a domestic terrorist over the weekend, but Monday the White House took a different tone.
I have not heard the president characterize Mr. Pretty in that way. However, I have heard the president say he wants to let the facts in the investigation lead itself.
Sources tell CBS News DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is facing scrutiny within the Trump administration and questions over the handling of the shooting and the response. Sources say she's expected to keep her job but shift her focus from interior enforcement operations in major U.S. cities to the southern border and other administration priorities. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.